How you doing? I think this thing's recording. Where the hell's... Oh yeah, there's the numbers. So I come to you with a heavy heart today on 20 October. Actually, it's very good for the most part. The only downside from a purely egoic personality standpoint is I lost a bet. Technically, I lost a bet, so I'm documenting this as a technical loss, so I'd like to explain it. I bet a long time ago that Bill Gates was going out the window on 28 August, and anybody that follows me knows that it was out there overtly on the radar. Well, I learned today that the poor guy, because I don't know really the implications of what he did, and it's not funny, but I'd just like to say two things. Number one, he renegotiated, or he renewed his soul swap, and although he was due to get out of jail, I guess you'd say, he died in 2004. And the source here, my brother Sam, would tell you that, Bill used to be an electronics guy and he became a biology guy. But he mentioned along the way that he got recruited a long time ago. He got identified and recruited as a type of personality that would succumb to the eventual testimony before Congress when he had to give up Windows, because he was basically being advised by artificial intelligence experts that guided him to the point where he needed to switch out, because the goal was always to go AI from electronic to biochemical artificially and integrate it all. So that's where we're at right now with the threat, let's call it, to our humanity. And it's been engineered and orchestrated by... What makes this interesting is I've said all along that the reptilians are off Earth. They got ejected out of here, run out by the Agarthans, who got their stuff together and they left. They were gone. Non-surface players on this planet. But what I believe is the case now is that due to soul swapping and their ability to manipulate humans with draconian support on the bad side that they've always had psychologically, now we're talking about putting people in positions of psychological disadvantage and then leveraging that into, hey, I'll help you out, here's what you got to do. They do it at the Men in Black level with those guys, and it happens sort of at all echelons. But in this case, what I'm referring to is the reptilian presence on this surface now in human format. And Gates represents that. I don't know that there are any direct Draco Orion. That's a direct violation of, the laws that they all abide by when they play by this. But when you start getting into reptilians, substituting air suits for Bill Gates, and look at the, if you guys want to watch my old BitChute videos, there's a lot of good old information there on that guy. And I just saw a video recently that I should republish, or I'll link it to this one, that shows the transformation of Bill Gates, the guy sitting in the chair as a nerd before Congress, being grilled on, I don't really need to show it, why he needed to give up, was about to fight for Windows, Microsoft Windows. He had the desktop under Windows, and he had the browser. So you guys remember that the browser warfare became the thing, because that was allowing industry to get inside the computer again, outside the Apple world. So Gates couldn't figure it out. That was his problem. He had so much lust for control, he didn't know how to handle it. He had no primary female that I know of in his life, and he looked very emotionally abandoned when you look at his testimony. He had the wobble going. and you had to set up congressmen asking them the questions that we all know the answers to. So, or at least they did, because they're lawyers, so they already know the answers and they know how to drill down on the guy. What it boils down to is concern. So the congressman is asking him, why aren't you concerned? You know, do you understand what concern, you know? And Gates is going, I don't understand what you mean by concerned. On the witness stand, he's saying this just to show his basic dysfunction, because it traces to what I'll call, you know, the whole ceremony of the cremation of care. Like, why should I care about anything because I'm in control and you're presenting a problem for me that I don't know how to handle? So as a result of that, allegedly he had a disease. I don't know what the details are there, but he was a different guy back in '99 through Y2K, and he croaked out in 2004 by means of a soul swap. So he did not die a natural death. He was Corpus Hijactius, and Bill Gates, the humanoid that dropped out of mommy, like I said long ago, is present. His consciousness is present somewhere else. Now, let me try and get very interestingly convoluted here. We know that the value that Bill Gates has is his, you know, if he's born of the Creator, then he's originally a child of the light. And he's been hijacked now to a point where, because of his renewal, and I lost the bet on 26 August, he didn't die, because the same critter is running around with Belinda, whatever her name is, and they've got this distraction deal going on, but they both have the same agenda: buy up the land and do the Bill Gates thing. So this is all fleeting stuff, but it's still going on right now. It's like vaporware presence. Meanwhile, they have Bill Gates now, or what was quoted as his life cycle, and that sounds like a long time to me. So, you know, can the guy ever make his way out? I know this, that if he gets completely snuffed out, then he's of no value to them. So he has to be given some liberation and some hope to angle back up in some self-loving, you know, the basic elements of why you want to be motivated, because that contributes to self-worth and light and creative energy. They got to get that out of the guy in order for him to have any value. So he's going to be so dormant. What they're getting out of it is this live and in color reptile that's running around here trying to take down the collective, so that it's worth the trade-off for them. I don't know how it plays out for Gates. To me, it's a very unique situation on the one hand, but on the other hand, I would suppose that reptilian soul swap outs are nothing new, and they're engineered. Because Gates comes from the family of, you know, doing the virus back in 1913, IBM. If you do enough research, you find out that these bloodlines do it over and over again. You know, in the Spanish flu or whatever it was in 1913, and look at the names, and here come the Nazis, and Bayer aspirin, and IBM does the coding to track the Gold Star people. So these fundamental AI precepts have been in the mix, and they've worked through nature with dengue and these other things, and now they've migrated to variations, you know, mRNA, whatever diabolical way they want to take that, they do. And these new strains of things like, I don't know, I can't remember the name, Morvid or some crap like that, that they've got isolated with some cases in New Guinea. This is all like worst case garbage that is going to fold up. I'm still working on my mantra from Guan Yin. Speaking of folding up, man, oh man, it's so wise the way that it takes some time to learn, but it's kind of like, you know, the 10 Commandments are fake because it's a jealous God and all that, but there are appropriate commandments. Of course, thou shalt not kill. You know, they mix in the truth and the lie. But imagine all the true commandments, that just sort of precepts that you should operate with regarding being awake and being human. that boil up into a bunch of behavioral things that you should take care of to do what you need to do. And then imagine boiling that down into 6 syllables that have kind of multi-dimensional meaning, so that by memorizing them, it's kind of like taking all your clothing from your dresser drawers and compacting it into a half a suitcase for your trip in these 6 syllables, knowing that you've got a whole bunch of stuff in there that you can meditate on as you get to know what they are. And that's the illustration that I'm working on. So that's it. I'm going to cut this short and enjoy the day. It's nice here in Arkansas. I hope it's nice where you are. Boy, we're getting I hope that the cold weather doesn't make up for the niceness now, because we're doing good right now. I'm going to tell you what, here on 20, full moon in Aries. By the way, there's my full sun. So Mars is in opposition to everything right now. All the planets are on one side of the, I don't know if it's the eclipse or how you would look at the point of view to see Mars on one and us on the other. All the planets run on the same line, so it's just a matter of how they happen to be right now. I'm not in management, I'm in sales. So that's that. I'm going to see what I'm going to do today, but everybody have a wonderful day, and I'm going to work on this cartoon, and let's run back. Squid. For ants. Let's go this way. What the hell? It didn't look like this a minute ago. What? There we go. Proper tight. Proper tight. Follow the dog. There we go. Nope. No aquatic life. Yet. We keep coming back though from yonder. Wonderful day. Out.